AITA for not inviting my boyfriend's mom to our baby shower because she told me to lose the baby. Update. It's been 3 months since the baby was born. 3 months of sleepless nights, milk-stained shirts, emotional whiplash, and love so big it cracked me wide open. 3 months ago, I held my baby for the first time and knew everything had changed. What I didn't know then was how much Daniel had changed, too. I gave birth to a healthy, squirmy, beautiful baby girl who came out screaming like she already knew how to advocate for herself. Daniel wasn't there. That was my decision. We'd spoken leading up to the due date, and though he'd been slowly rebuilding trust, I wasn't ready to have him in the room. It wasn't personal, not anymore. It was about peace, focus, and having only people who'd supported me without condition around during the most vulnerable moment of my life. To his credit, Daniel didn't fight it. He cried when I told him, but he said, "I respect that. Just tell me when she's here." I did. He came to meet her 2 days later, quietly, gently, with none of the nervous energy I expected. He held her like he'd been practicing. He whispered, "Hi, I'm your daddy," like it was a promise. But I was still guarded. Because words are easy. Promises are easy. What came next wasn't. In the weeks after our daughter's birth, Daniel showed up. He brought groceries without being asked. He cooked meals and left them on my doorstep. He sat outside in his car with a heater on at 2 a.m. when I had mastitis, just in case I needed to go to urgent care. He bought books on postpartum recovery, infant sleep, breastfeeding, all of it. He texted every morning, "How are you? What can I do?" And most of all, he stopped asking to come back. That might have been the most important change of all. He didn't try to force trust back. He just earned it. This part? Still wild to say out loud. About 2 weeks after the baby was born, Judy called Daniel. He didn't answer. She texted asking to meet her granddaughter. He blocked her number, then called his carrier and had her number permanently barred from his account. A week later, she showed up at his place. He told her, calmly, that she would never meet his child. "Even if you apologize, even if you change, you crossed a line that made it unsafe for you to be in her life. And I will not undo that." He said she cried, screamed, said he was brainwashed. And he told her, "I'm not brainwashed. I'm awake. For the first time." But what mattered most to me was what Daniel gave up without being asked. He declined an amazing promotion at a company in another state because he didn't want to leave me and the baby behind. He sold his gaming PC and used the money to start a fund for our daughter's future education. He gave up Sundays, his only true day off, to take night shifts with her so I could sleep once he was finally allowed in our home again. And the wildest one? He asked my sister for a sit-down, to apologize face-to-face for not protecting me. He said, "You had her back more than I did. And I'll never forget that. I don't deserve her trust, but I'm going to keep earning it anyway. We are not a couple. Not officially. We're parenting together. Lovingly. Cooperatively. Kindly. Some days, we fall into old rhythms, teasing, laughing, holding hands as she naps between us. Other days, I keep space. I remember what happened. I remember the silence. I remember the hurt. And he respects that. He never pushes. He just says, "When you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'll be here." And for now, that's enough. My daughter. She's perfect. She sleeps with one fist curled under her cheek like she's already judging everyone. She smiles at Daniel when he sings to her. She grips my finger like she's afraid I'll leave, which is funny because I never will. She is mine. Ours. But mostly she is her own. And my job is to protect her from anyone who makes her feel small, even if it's people we love. Even if it's family. Update. It's been a while since I posted. Life with a newborn is relentless, in every way. Beautiful. Exhausting. Quiet, then loud. Lonely, then crowded. But always full. Full of love, need, fear, and strength I didn't know I had. I wasn't planning on updating again. I thought the story had ended. But then something happened. Something that doesn't feel like a new chapter, more like a single, meaningful page that finally turned. It started with a message from Daniel's sister. We hadn't spoken much. She'd mostly kept her distance after the baby shower mess, though I knew she was on Team Judy back then. But her message surprised me. I just wanted you to know. Daniel went to your parents' house last week. He apologized. Like, really apologized. Your dad made him sit in the cold on the porch, but he stayed. Said he wouldn't leave until they let him speak. She said he cried. Begged for forgiveness. Told them how deeply he regretted not defending me. That he understood now why they'd all shut him out. My dad didn't say much, apparently. Just nodded and said, then prove it. And Daniel's been trying to. Every evening for the past 2 weeks, there's been a gentle knock on my door around 6 p.m. And when I open it a few minutes later, never right away, there's a container of food, warm, neatly packed, labeled. Chicken soup with ginger and lemon for postpartum recovery. Spinach and chickpea stew, because I mentioned once that iron levels drop during breastfeeding. Lasagna, cut into perfect freezer-ready portions. Banana muffins without flour, because they're better for milk supply. The sticky note read, no text, no calls, just quiet consistency. Every day, rain or shine. A few nights ago, I got a message from Daniel. I don't want to talk about us. I just want to talk to you. About everything. If you're open to it. I don't know why I said yes. Maybe it was the meals. Maybe it was the silence finally getting heavy. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe I missed him. We met at a quiet bench in a park not far from my apartment. The air was crisp, almost too cool for early spring. He looked thinner. Tired. But softer, too. Like grief had shaved away the anger and left only truth behind. He started slow, apologizing again. For everything. For the baby shower. For the night he walked out. For ever defending his mother. For the voicemail. For letting me cry alone in the 3rd trimester. For leaving me to carry everything while he ran from accountability. I didn't say much. I just listened. And then I heard it. A hiccup. Followed by another. And then, he cried. Not a few polite tears. Not manly sniffling. He wept, full-body sobs that shook the bench, his shoulders, his breath. I failed you, he said. I failed her. I wasn't a father. I wasn't even a man. I thought I was being loyal to my mom, but I was just being a coward. You needed me. And I let you stand alone. He took my hand, gently, carefully, like it might shatter, and held it in both of his. His forehead dropped to it as he sobbed. I think about it every day. How you must have felt. How you looked at me and saw nothing left. And I don't blame you. But I need you to know I see it now. I feel it. I will never make you stand alone again. Even if you never let me back in. I didn't mean to cry. I didn't expect to. But something about the sound of his voice, raw and cracked and hopelessly honest, it opened the floodgates. And for an hour, we sat there, me sobbing, him sobbing harder, his hand gripping mine like a lifeline, like an anchor, like an apology he couldn't stop giving. No expectations. No promises. Just emotion. Undeniable. Human. Real. I still don't have all the answers. We're not together. We're not apart. We're somewhere in the space between grief and rebuilding, between hurt and healing. There's still distance. There's still pain. But there's also a hand in mine. And this time, it's not pulling away. Thank you to everyone who listened, who supported me, who reminded me that being strong isn't about being hard. It's about choosing yourself, again and again, and letting others earn the right to stand beside you. And sometimes, they do. It's been a few weeks since the night in the park, the night Daniel cried like a man who had finally let himself feel the consequences of his actions. Since then, things have shifted. Not overnight. Not in some fairy tale, everything is fixed now way. But in the way real healing happens, slow, earned, and deeply felt. About 2 weeks ago, I let Daniel move back in. Not as my boyfriend. Not as some grand reunion. As a co-parent. A caretaker. A partner in practice, not in title, not yet. We talked about it for days beforehand. Set boundaries. Clear rules. No shared bedroom. No family social media posts. No assuming anything beyond the present moment. He agreed to all of it, without pushback, without ego. He said, I don't want to overstep. I just want to help. I want to be here. And he has been. Every bottle washed. Every diaper change. Every 2 a.m. shift. Every load of laundry folded with my favorite sweatshirt laid on top. No expectations. No entitlement. Just presence.
And peace.
And then this part really got me. He sat me down one afternoon and said, I did something. Not for show. Not to win you back. But because I want you to always be secure. No matter what happens. He handed me a folder. Inside were the title transfer to the condo he owns, now in my name, not his. A life insurance policy with me and our daughter listed as sole beneficiaries. A newly signed will, notarized, stating that everything he owns, assets, savings, retirement, everything will go to me and our daughter if anything ever happens to him. I sat there, speechless. He didn't explain. He didn't plead. He just said, this isn't a gesture. It's not a bargaining chip. It's what I should have done the moment I knew I loved you. And even if you never love me again, even if you never let me back into your heart, I will always take care of the woman who carried my child and the little girl who changed my life. For the first time in a very, very long time, I felt safe. Not because a man said the right words, but because he stopped saying and started doing. Daniel will probably never understand what it felt like to carry our baby through that storm alone. To feel unloved, unsupported, unseen. But he's trying. And not for recognition. Not for praise. Just for us. And I think that's enough for now.
There's no ribbon to tie on this.
No perfect bow. No happily ever after, stamped in gold foil. Just a home that's slowly healing. A baby giggling as her father rocks her to sleep. A man cooking dinner while I nap on the couch for the first time in days. And a future that, for the first time, feels open, not terrifying. So this is it. The last page. Not a fairy tale, but something real. And maybe something better.